Hey, it's Manu with 22 Sound, and this is our weekly new release alert. This week we're looking at the vinyl releases for April 29th, 2022. Yeah, we're all a little bit hungover from Record Store Day, figuratively or even literally, some of us maybe. But hey, what is the best way to deal with the dreaded Record Store Day come down? Yes, new records, of course. And hey, we have a good bit for you. As always, we look through the whole massive release calendar and we pick the ones that we think are most noteworthy so that you don't have to do it, and we'll present them here for you. Well, first, before we get right into it, of course I have to ask, please subscribe to our channel, stay up to date with what's up in the vinyl world, and also you can pre-order all these records straight through us, 22soundrecords.com. Alright, let's get right into it, and we'll start with the biggest name probably of the week. It is the Weeknd, Dawn FM. Yeah, it's finally coming out on vinyl. It was really the first really big album of the year, January 7th, right out of the gate. He came out with this album and it is a good one. I really like it. I like that kind of throwback 80s pop vibe that's on there. 80s were definitely the best decade for pop music, so hey, if that's where pop's headed, back to the 80s, I'm cool with it. Yeah, we have a lot for you this week, so I'm not going to talk too much about the guy that everybody knows already, The Weeknd, but hey, just as a reminder, if you like the album, you can now finally have it on vinyl. The Weeknd, Dawn FM. Well, we're staying in the pop category here, but this is for those of you who like pop music, but maybe like it to be a little different. Maybe we could call it alternative pop. It's Let's Eat Grandma and their new album, Two Ribbons. Yes, kind of an electro pop duo, I guess you can call it. Very synth heavy. Very, very good and memorable hooks that they put on their songs, but they don't shy away from expanding their songs a little bit. It's not everything in those 3-minute bite-sized typical pop songs that they present here, but still very memorable, very catchy, great songs. And the ones that they showed so far, that they pre-released, they point to an album that is pretty versatile. There's really cheery. The Happy New Year song is very cheery, bright, but then they also have pre-released a title song, Two Ribbons, which is a really somber, melancholic ballad. So I think this is going to be an album that really shows different sides of the spectrum. Very definitely one we're looking forward to. It is Let's Eat Grandma. Great band name, and the album's titled Two Ribbons. Alright, next one up is Rammstein. Yeah, one of the biggest metal bands in the world. Their new album is coming out, the 8th album altogether, first one since the 2019 self-titled one. And hey, Rammstein, I gotta say, man, whether you like them or not, but they are a band that really carved out their own little niche. They have a very unique sound. Their whole aesthetic is very unique. Nothing is coincidental about it. They're really like what we would call in German a Gesamtkunstwerk. It's like a whole concept that comes together. Their videos are always very creative, very professionally made. Yeah, and they still, after all these years, they're able to surprise people, entertain people, sometimes even shock people a little bit. So I'm very curious about this new album. I love Till Lindemann's lyrics. They're basically poems. He has a very interesting, poetic, but very dark way of putting things. So Rammstein, their new album, Zeit. Then we have Samm Henshaw and his debut album, Untidy. This is very different, so we're lightening things up a little bit after Rammstein. Well, this is an English guy that sounds in a lot of ways actually very American. Like, he kind of borrows from a lot of American music culture. There's a little bit of soul in there, a little bit of R&B, hints of jazz sometimes even. So it is modern sounding, but has a very warm atmosphere and definitely traces back to the past as well. First and foremost, his voice is absolutely beautiful. I think this guy could really have a nice career. It's his debut album. It came out a few months ago digitally, but now it's being released on vinyl. Definitely worth checking out. If you like soul, R&B, good songwriting, great guy. Samm Henshaw, Untidy Soul. Next up is a big black metal band, one of the biggest ones. Watain is releasing the Agony and Ecstasy of Watain. Yeah, definitely one of the most legendary and infamous black metal bands that came after the 90s, and they kind of spiritually took over that second wave, spiritually and musically, really. Well, sometimes they might have been a little bit over the top. They seemed very serious about their Satanism. Let's not talk about, pig heads at live shows. But anyway, their music is great. If you like black metal, and if you like it with some melodic hints, they always had that little bit of that dissection-y melodic sensibilities in there. They are Swedish after all, so they just can't help themselves, but they're always ferocious, always a lot of energy. First album since 2018, Watain is back. Alright, next one is Willie Nelson, and I just wanted to point that out here. This is his 72nd studio album. 72 albums. This one's called A Beautiful Time, and it's being released on Willie Nelson's 89th birthday. It is absolutely impressive. Whether you like him or not, God, that is impressive. He's still making music. He must really love what he's doing. This guy, he just keeps going. So a new Willie Nelson album is out there. In case you were wondering, A Beautiful Time. All right, so we're, of course, here in New Orleans based, so we have to point out one of the guys that really showcase that true New Orleans spirit that makes New Orleans music so great. It's Trombone Shorty. His new album Lifted is coming out. It's his first one in 5 years and second one on Blue Note, and of course it coming out on Blue Note is in a way a seal of quality already. But yeah, what's so great about him is he really kind of showcases all those great things about New Orleans music. Of course, it's a melting pot, so there's a little bit of funk, a little bit of R&B, a little bit of jazz, a little bit of rock, all put together in a very lively way. An absolutely great artist. You're probably already familiar with him. If not, hey, check this one out. It is a new album, and it's called Lifted. All right, last but not least, yeah, we got a lot today for you. Last but not least is Devil Master and their album Ecstasies of Never Ending Night. Yeah, this is black metal meets street punk, I guess you could call it. It is like super evil, but it's also like raw and dirty like punk is. I love that kind of combination that they came up with. A really cool band. The album cover looks fantastic. Kind of reminds me of more of those epic kind of black metal bands, but this is really kind of dirty and on the nose. It's really cool, but hey, they are so over the top. I can't really figure out if they're serious or not. I don't know. Let's just look at the band member stage names real quick. I have to point that out. All right, we have on guitars, I'm gonna have to read this, Darkest Prince. Also on guitars, Infernal Moonlight Apparition. That's their stage names. Then on drums, Festering Terror in Deepest Catacomb. And last but not least, on bass and vocals, we have Mr. Disembody Through Unparalleled Pleasure. Yeah, I think that's enough. That is enough. That is a lot. A lot of great records coming out April 29th. Alrighty. Like I said, please subscribe to our channel. Stay up to date. We always bring you the new vinyl releases, and you can pre-order them straight through us. Of course, you can also shop thousands upon thousands of other records at our store. Yeah, and follow us on social media, 22 Sound Records. All right, thanks for watching. See y'all next week.